Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about ferrets. I actually have two ferrets, one named Buddy, who's a blondie, and one named Gracie, who is a teddy bear bandit. Buddy is 18 months old and Gracie is 6 months old. When we first got Buddy, he was in a house where they had 2 pit bulls and another puppy, and they didn't really care about Buddy anymore, so they sold him to us. When we got him home, he was very, very, very hyper, very skinny, and he was very shy around humans. When I got Gracie from a friend who was in the military, and his roommate had him without his knowledge, so he just gave me the ferret. And when I first went into Gracie's room, her cage was covered in flies, and her room was just disgusting. So both of my ferrets were basically rescued. When I got Gracie and put her in her first bath, she flipped out. She screamed, cried, anything you ever want to do. Two stories about my ferrets. Buddy, the blondie, is a very curious little ferret. He loves to burrow. One day he got stuck in a tube that was standing straight up, and I couldn't find him for about 30 minutes until finally I went and looked in the tube, and he was crying and laying in the tube. And when I took him out, he laid and slept with me for at least 2 hours. Gracie loves to steal everything in sight. Anything that she can fit in her mouth, even things she can't, she still takes. One time in the playroom, she stole a bead or a little thing. We couldn't figure out what it was, and she started to choke on it. So in 2 minutes, with crying and much hyperventilation on my part, I figured out how to do the Heimlich maneuver on my ferret. And me and my boyfriend saved her. So with this, I want to stress how important safety is with ferrets. When you have ferrets, their cages are the most important things for them. This is where they live, this is where they stay. You need ramps, levels, tubes, anything that they can climb into. They love climbing. They love warm bedding and cold bedding. So in my house we have 2 tents and a hammock for options, and then the floor is very cold. So that way if they're hot they can go down, if they're cold they can go up. If you have 2 ferrets, make sure you have 2 different beds, that way they're not fighting over the same bed. Ferrets can also be litter box trained. They're usually very clean animals. Sometimes they love to play in their litter box, so make sure you clean it daily. Our ferrets love to steal everything. They will pull apart toys, eyes from them, so they need safe toys. My ferrets have a box full of newspaper that they love to burrow in and play in, and they have tunnels that go in and out of the room. My ferrets also love trash bags. For some reason they love the crinkle that it makes and crawling in it and getting stuck. They also love our drum kit. They get stuck in the head of the drum and beat around in it and think it's funny. Our ferrets also love to play in water. Unless it gets on them, then they freak out. With the ferrets eating, you'll notice that if you don't move your ferret enough, they tend to get bored. So they'll eat all of their food in a matter of days. We learned this the hard way when our ferret ate all of our food. Buddy also actually got sick once and never ate anything. So we had to give him a medicine called Ferret Fight. I believe that this medicine was what nursed him back to health, so we didn't have to put our ferret down. As I said, I have 2 ferrets. Ferrets are very social creatures. They love interaction with humans and other ferrets. When you see 2 ferrets playing, at first, when you introduce them, let them be. Don't try to break up any fights. You'll often see one ferret dragging another by the neck. This is called an alligator roll. It proves which ferret is dominating over the other. The motto is, if it's fast and chipper, as in their noise, to let it be, and if it's loud and high-pitched, break it up. Ferrets are happier with a playmate. Ferrets will steal your heart with their inquisitive minds and adorable faces. So what I say is once a ferret owner, always a ferret owner.